best part of a TVT is all the Terran music that plays every time it starts up.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Here,
absolutely.
I may play Protoss now, but Terran does have the OP music. So here, in the top right-hand corner of the map Daybreak, we have our red Terran player from Dignitas. Down 0-1 in the set, it is SjoW. And his opponent down here in the bottom left-hand corner from Team SCV Life, our blue Terran player, Polt.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about last game. I mean, you mentioned, SjoW getting that army and just not really being able to do a whole lot with it. He played it in an interesting way. It was cool to see him get to 200-200 so quickly, but the reason a lot of Terran-making players choose not to play it that way is because, yeah, you have your big army, but your upgrades are so far behind a lot of the times that you really can't kind of move out and get things done. You really can't engage their armies. So I think that's kind of the big problem that SjoW ran into in that particular case.
And Polt, actually, he ran out with 2 SCVs at the same time. Now, this is a map we've seen Proxy Marauders quite a bit on in TVT.
Very true.
So I wonder if Polt... Oh, yeah, I mean, the way he's going now around the third, I've got to imagine we're going to see a Proxy barracks here very, very soon.
Yeah, it's a pretty common place to put it. And, oh, yeah, there it is. Definitely going to be Proxy Marauders. I would say he could go Proxy 2-Rex, but, oh, this suddenly got interesting.
Wow. Touche.
All right. Well,
and there's gas
and gas. All right. So we've got a double Marauder rush. This could be entertaining.
I hope it's one of those situations where... No, actually, I don't hope it is, but I think it would be comical to see a situation where both players knocked each other down to like 2 workers apiece.
This could end up being a very long game, too. That's very true. But here's the thing, is Polt's already got an advantage because his barracks is closer. I mean, that's gives him an edge right away, right? His Marauders are just going to simply get there faster. So, and I'm a little bit surprised about where SjoW put his barracks, actually. That's not quite normally where it is. Polt putting it in much more typical position there.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, they're both going to have pretty good SCV micro to defend against this.
Oh, yeah, very much so. And look at this. Polt's going to make his way in and be like, well, this is...
Wait a second.
Well, this is awfully interesting. I think I know this build.
Yeah.
Well, he does have his first Marauder already on the way, a little bit quicker than SjoW, and compound that with the walk distance that you were talking about before. Makes it for a little more difficult situation. So Polt's actually putting a couple of supply depots up the front.
Polt actually not scouting, just walked up to the front, saw the 2 supply depots, and didn't go in any further. Interesting. Right. All right, I wonder what he thinks he knows from that. That's kind of the big question right now.
Well, Concussive Shell is already coming up for Polt. No such coming up for SjoW at the moment, allocating those resources just purely for Marauders. And there's the bunker. So, all right, here it goes.
And SjoW has a pretty good chance of not even seeing that bunker go up as well. This is quite interesting. SjoW not really spending his money right now. I wonder if he's thinking of putting on just light Marauder pressure and then transitioning into factory tech, 1-1-1. But I don't think this is going to look very good for SjoW. The bunker is already done. Now that's going to give those Marauders 7 range.
Same thing happening to Polt as well, though. It's important to mention. So, yes, the Marauders... The advantage for Polt is, though, is that his units got there quicker, and that is a pretty big deal. There's the 7-range Marauder you were talking about with the addition of the bunker. He's going to go after the supply depot, force a cancel on that. Polt already pulling his forces out of there. He really needs to stop the construction of the bunker, but I don't know if he'll be able to do it. Actually, just pulling all of his SCVs off the line and going after his opponent while he ravages his opponent back at home.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the better thing to do in this particular case. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot attacking his units, and workers are actually pretty good against Marauders because of their slow rate of fire, too.
Yeah.
So this can actually work okay. In a weird sort of way.
All right. Well, the SCVs are pulled off the line, but unfortunately walking right into 1,000,000 Marauders. So Polt already has a little bit of advantage there. As we can see, 29 supply, 221 at the moment. They are even on Marauders, but unfortunately, the SCV count for Polt is much higher, and he's already pulled those across the map.
Yep, that's right. He's just going to go all in, try to kill as much as he can. He can just lift his buildings and run away, too. There's no way that SjoW can really hit it. In fact, both of these guys can technically lift their buildings, so it's really going to be the worker count in the end that determines who's going to GG, and yeah, right now it's just looking a lot better for Polt.
Exactly, and the problem is for SjoW is that he can't run his units out. There's a bunker there, and he will be able to defend against that. So SjoW picks up with his orbital command, and Polt has already done that. What a weird game number 2.
Yep, this always happens when it's double proxy Marauder rush. This is pretty common. Polt getting stim. Will he have time to finish it? Well, yeah, probably, because his barracks is closer to... Well, I guess they're just kind of switching bases now in this case.
Yeah, yes they are. And we have another command center coming up for show right now. Oh, but it's already revealed by Polt. He knows this is happening. So, and Polt has plenty of stuff back at home. May even be able to throw in a couple of Marines once he's able to restart his mining, of course, and the orbital command makes its way out. But it's 1 worker to 17 now. Yeah,
that's the thing, is that Polt's, doing just fine right now. I mean, Show's going to have 2 command centers, but it's not like he has enough to turn the other one into an orbital and get double mules or something like that. So the second command center really isn't going to help him that much.
That's a beautiful sight.
This is bizarre.
Yes. So welcome to the strangest episode of IPL Fight Club. It is taking place in Bizarro World.
This is the real definition of a base trade. They are like literally trading bases in this game. Yeah, this isn't like, oh, they're both attacking each other's bases. This is a real base trade, man.
Well, he is going to finish Stim. I guess that is a positive.
That's a huge positive, actually. That's gigantic that he's going to be able to get that done.
Well, and Polt has that army of SCV sitting back at home just waiting to continue to do some damage. So Polt going to be able to make his way out for an unconventional, crazy 9-minute Marauder Stim timing push in which he traded bases.
Yeah, he can win with that, or really all he needs to do is make a Banshee at this point. I mean, that's it. We could see him just kind of tech right up to that, get 2 gas immediately. He's got, basically a world full of options here. I mean, Show's going to have a very hard time catching up.
Yeah, and looks like he'll have to start another.
He's
actually going to go double gas. There it is.
He's going to go for Banshee immediately, I think.
Well, if you're just joining this game, Show did not spawn down here in the bottom left.
No.
Polt did not spawn up here in the top right. They have actually completely switched places.
Yep, they certainly have. And the game continues.
That is true. Factory coming up for Show as well. Of course, he'll need Vikings or something to be able to deflect any sort of Banshees. But, he's trying to make his workers as quickly as possible. And to his credit, he does have 2 command centers, so he will be able to slowly catch up in that regard. But, of course, his economy is still going to be hampered a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's still 17 workers to 7, so Polt's still 10 ahead there in that category. And it looks like Show's just kind of going to go for the same thing. I mean, the question is, will Polt maybe get Cloak with this as well? He's got 2 gas fairly early on. He probably could.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have stabilized, if we can call it that. Another orbital command coming up for Show now. So, once again, he will be able to slowly recover his economy. But, man, I mean, he's so far behind on gas, he can't actually produce. Even he is starting to make some Marines, of course, he'll have some anti-air, but he doesn't have the ability to put up that starport yet. Really needs to be able to put down a second gas here pretty soon, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, it's a gas that's definitely going to hurt him a lot with this. But it is really good that he has 2 orbital commands. I mean, double mule is going to help him really make up for that lack of SCVs.
Yeah.
For sure. So, supply-wise, he's not doing bad. He's catching up now to 25 to 34.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good decision to go for that orbital command, or the second orbital command so quickly on now as the workers are continuing to be double produced. He's got 2 mules out to his opponent, 0 for right now, as, of course, Polt is putting up his second command center. It's not even finished yet, so economic rates not too dissimilar for these 2 players.
Well, here's the big deal right now is that Polt's going to have Cloak Banshees and Show is not, right? So Show's going to be using a lot of mules to make up for his lack of SCVs. If he has to use a scan, that's a huge economy boost for Polt. So Polt's in a situation where just by attacking with Cloak Banshees, he can't go wrong. Even if he gets in there and forces a scan, that's still going to be so huge in this particular situation. So it's one of those positions where, one player just has a huge advantage. And there's Cloak started right away for Polt.
And Show, unfortunately, is supply blocked. There we go. Now finally starting a Banshee of his own. Probably needs to follow this up with a Raven and then a Viking. I mean, if he's going to be able to survive. Has Show seen what his opponent is doing? No, he has not, of course. So, and that's kind of ridiculous vision when you think about it, considering where these guys started.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. All right. So, I think, Raven would be a good choice for Show after this. I mean, he'll have a decent amount of Marines to maybe sort of defend that. But, we'll see. See if he decides to go Raven or decides to just kind of throw down a Viking instead.
He does have the gas, so, I mean, he could go for one if he wanted to, and we're just waiting to see what he queues up after this. That's going to be very telling as to his success. And just switching off of it right now.
Okay. Yep, so going for Stim, putting a Tech Lab down on the factory, so he's just going to kind of switch over to regular Marine Marauder. Just making that one Banshee to see if he can kind of get an edge on his opponent, but little does he know that there's a Banshee with an upgrade coming his way.
Yeah, no kidding. So how much energy is left on the orbital commands? Just enough for a scan. Hopefully he doesn't use that here for a mule. If he does, that would be disaster.
Yep.
And here comes the Banshee. All right, so now he'll save it up. But, of course, he's got to get his Marines in position. They're starting to make their way over there. We do have a Viking coming up as well, so Polt is going to do a little damage here. But, of course, he won't kill his opponent there. Finally, the cloak goes down. Scan doesn't hit the middle of the Banshee, though. In fact, it was just on the edge, so the Banshee will get away.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he will have to use a second scan if he wants to kill that Banshee. Does he have the energy, though? Did he save it on both command centers? Yes, he did. There we go. All right. But, like I said, you know, that's great for Polt. That's awesome that he got Show to use 2 scans to kill that Banshee. Polt's still low on the worker count, 28 to 36. He needs those mules to catch up.
Yes, he does. So, and as we can see, Polt actually did drive away that Banshee a little while ago. We were watching shows. We kind of figured that that one was going to happen. So, this Banshee coming in with a couple of kills as well. The missile turret struggling to get up now, but Show has taken quite a bit of damage, as we see.
Yep, it's kind of basically Polt saying, hey, guess what? You're not going to get mules for the rest of the game now. At least until you make a Raven anyway.
Yeah. So now on Polt's side of things, he is actually adding in a tank, so he is going into pretty traditional Marine tank. This game started with Show where Polt is right now, and Polt where Show is at the moment, and now we're moving into, well, I mean, obviously Polt has a big advantage, but standard TVT.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can kind of pretend that the game started like 5 minutes after it really did, right? And then they both just went for Banshee openings.
Well, there are 2 Banshees threatening now for Polt. Show does have a couple of missile turrets now finally in position, though, so they will be revealed, and it looks like Polt is going to kind of sit back on the range in this little sweet spot here and try and pick off a couple of SCVs. He does manage to get one more there, forces a few units back for Show.
Yep. That's true, and I've got a feeling Polt's going to maybe want to think about moving out soon. I mean, he's got Siege Mode finishing up. He's got +1 weapons finishing up. It's not the worst timing ever.
And there is yet another missile turret, but unfortunately another sweet spot for Polt. And Marines are making their way out. Stimming, are they going to be able to get this? No, though, the medevac was actually going. And, he does pick the Banshee right off at the edge of the range. So it's kind of crazy.
Oh, and Show does chase down this other Banshee as well. So at least he takes that pressure off him. But look at that. Yeah, still a 30 supply lead for Polt, and that's a big deal in TVT.
Yeah, so we can see Polt putting up another command center. So he's going to be on 3 bases with a 17-worker advantage. Excuse me. So, and his infrastructure is a lot more well-developed than his opponent.
Right. Getting that +1 armor as well. And Polt, you know, I mean, he is moving out, but he's not under a whole lot of pressure to get something done at this point. He can kind of sit on his advantage that he has and just macro up a bit. But he does have a pretty decent bioforce, and he is going to time this with 1-1 probably.
Yes, he is. And as we can see, that +1 weapons about 35 seconds away for Show as well. So he is down in upgrade at the moment. Taking a look, though, Show trying to put up his own 3rd command center. Oh, Siege Mode is not done yet.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And it looks like Polt is just going to punish this. This could be game right here as Polt is going to make his way in. And the tanks, sorry, not sieged up. They're not going to do anything.
Yep, that's right. Siege Mode just finishing now, but it's too little, too late. GG.